Welcome back to the Star Family Wisdom podcast. I'm Jenna Layden, your host, the founder of Star Family Wisdom, and also a former global vice president for Whole Foods Market. Star Family Wisdom is a paradigm shifting modern day mystery school for your spiritual and cosmic evolution. And if you haven't heard yet, we're starting to post more videos that are focused on mystery school teachings. So catch those out here or on the Star Family Wisdom Mystery School YouTube. So to start with, I'm staying off video today because I'm navigating the final stages of a whirlwind transformation process that I've shared with you in previous videos. And I'm really excited to share more about that with you soon. But today we're diving into the fascinating discoveries in two books, the Bible Code and the God Code, exploring hidden messages within the Bible. And I became interested in this topic over the last couple of years because of my own fascinating adventures with exploring the signs and synchronicities that we all seem to experience as we evolve. So why do we experience these signs and synchronicities when we start to explore our spiritual evolution? Well, quite frankly, my opinion is that these are energetic clues that are embedded in the energetic codex of reality. Like the game of life is set up to support your evolution. And this Saturday, I'm going to be leading a webinar with Portal to Ascension where I'll be talking about my journey following signs and synchronicities that led me to this really interesting place I'm in now. The webinar is called Activating Next Level Manifestation with Yeshua's Ancient Holy Practices. And I'll be discussing the exact spiritual practices and spiritual technologies that have been used by many masters in the past and that Jesus used to gain his supernatural abilities in India. But I would not have discovered these spiritual technologies if I hadn't followed the signs and clues that reality began to present to me. And ultimately, it was gematria, an alphanumeric code, that gave me the final clues that led me to unlocking this next level information and ultimately unlocking more of my supernatural abilities. So I'll talk more about all of that on Saturday. I hope you'll join me. It's going to be an action-packed 2 hours where I will share as much as I can with you about what I've experienced and what's possible. But today we're going to be comparing and contrasting the ideas and the messages within these two books, the Bible Code by Michael Droskin and the God Code by Greg Braden. And we'll look at these books to gain a better understanding of the nature of reality and how the intelligence of the universe might be guiding us. So first, let's start with the Bible Code, Michael Droskin's book. This is a controversial book that some like to debate, but it suggests that there are secret codes hidden within the text of the Bible that reveal information about our world and potentially our future. And according to Michael, these codes were placed in the Bible by an intelligent creator who wanted to communicate with us in a way that we could understand, or maybe at a point in which we could understand it, we would be able to see these codes within the Bible. And like I said, his book has been praised and criticized, but it's hard to deny the intriguing nature of this information once you start to look a little deeper. And he suggests that the codes within the Bible reveal predictions about what's to come. And one example is that he says the Bible code allegedly predicts the assassination of a former prime minister of Israel and the attacks on the World Trade Center in 2001. So how would that information have been found in these codes if there wasn't some sort of predictive aspect to the nature of our reality? So, some skeptics argue that this is simply coincidence, but we here know that there is no coincidence. And as you progress in your awakening and your expansion of consciousness, the nature of synchronicity and these sorts of clues that are embedded in reality become a little more obvious to us. So let's briefly talk about Greg Braden's God Code book because they're similar. And Greg is a renowned author and speaker. You've probably heard of him. He's spent the last couple of decades exploring the intersection of science and spirituality and ancient wisdom. And his book, The God Code, explores the idea that there's a hidden code within our DNA that reveals important information about our spiritual nature, our connection with the divine, our connection to the universe, how the universe works. And Greg suggests that this code was placed in our DNA by an intelligent creator who, again, wanted to communicate with us in a way that we could understand when it was time for us to understand it. And according to Greg, by understanding these codes in our DNA, it helps us unlock the secrets to reality and ultimately helping us unlock our full potential. And one of his most fascinating theories, which ultimately led me to where I'm at now, is the concept of gematria in the God Code. And gematria is an ancient Hebrew practice of assigning numerical values to words and phrases. And according to Greg, this practice reveals a hidden code that is embedded in many ancient texts or could just be connected to the way our alphabets and language developed. And this code, known as the God Code, helps us unlock clues about ourselves, about our spiritual evolution, about the potential futures, probabilities that lie ahead. And this is based on the idea that there's a divine blueprint that underlies all of creation. And this blueprint is energetic, and this blueprint allows us to see the connection between all things. And in this energetic blueprint, we see the encoding of numerical values of words and phrases, which can be deciphered as gematria. We can start to understand that maybe there's some sort of plan in place that we can interpret. And ultimately, this code helps us tap into the wisdom of the ancients who seem to have left a lot of their own clues for us to discover at this time. And his research has uncovered a ton of fascinating examples of this code in action. And one example is that he found that the numerical value for the word God in Hebrew is 26, which is also the numerical value for the word human, suggesting that there's a deeper connection between God and humanity and that we're all part of a larger divine plan, and potentially, which I know to be true, suggesting that we are God, that we are built with the technology, with the spiritual technology to activate our godlike consciousness. Another example of the God Code is the numerical value of the phrase, "let there be light" in Hebrew, which equals 111. And this is significant because it is a multiple of 3, which is considered a sacred number in many traditions. And it also represents the idea of manifestation and creation. And 111 is usually associated with positive thinking and intention and new beginnings and that creation process. So those are just a couple of examples of some of the incredible clues that are embedded in the God code. Braden also explores that idea of DNA being linked to the power of our thoughts and beliefs, and that through the shifting of our thoughts and beliefs, we can actually shift how our DNA is operating, or we can maybe shift the expression of our genes. Another incredible example in the book that Greg gives is that the Hebrew name for God, Yahweh, YHWH, appears in the DNA molecule as a pattern of 4 chemicals. And this points to the fact that the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which are used to write the name of God, also correspond to the chemical basis of our DNA. So we start to see in physical reality evidence of the God code. And this really suggests that the code for God, the intelligence of God, may just be a universal language that can be understood by all of us, by all people, all cultures, all religions. And that creates the possibility for a more peaceful, loving, and harmonious world, because if we start to understand the intelligence of God as a universal language that transcends all religions, we can start to see God in each other, and we can start to see ourselves in each other, and we can start to recognize and remember that we're all really not that different after all, that we're all from the same source and returning to that same source. Another intriguing aspect of Michael's book, the Bible Code, is that I guess the idea that these codes now can be deciphered using computer algorithms, which I've explored. And he suggests that by using these algorithms, we can unlock the hidden messages within the Bible or these ancient texts. So that has sparked a lot of interest and debate from scholars and lay people like me. But as we start to delve deeper, with evidence from both books, it starts to appear as though, yeah, we do have a higher power communicating with us, or like I said, just a higher intelligence, a universal intelligence that we can tap into and understand differently. Now, another key point in these books is their emphasis on free will. So while there may be a universal intelligence or a plan that is kind of written into reality, we have free will. And while the codes within the Bible might help predict or reveal information about the future, they don't necessarily dictate our fate, and that we have the power to shape our own destiny through our choices and our actions. And Greg Braden talks about this as the importance of personal responsibility and really focusing on our thoughts and beliefs as the way in which we guide this universal operating system to unfold the way our reality unfolds. So after my own personal exploration of the hidden codes within reality, I have to agree. I think there is a grand plan. There's a grand design that we are playing within, but the unfolding of that plan shifts and evolves based on the actions we take, the thoughts we think, based on how we navigate those series of clues and synchronicities. And as we unlock new aspects of our consciousness, we're presented with clues that guide us forward to higher levels of existence. And I've come to think of these signs and synchronicities as like a map to our evolution. As we unlock these new aspects of ourselves, new layers of healing, they're showing the way forward and helping us navigate, the twists and turns of our spiritual journey. So no matter what you think about the Bible code or God code or the idea of this coding within reality, both books really challenge us to think a lot deeper about the nature of reality and the evidence definitely points to the idea of an intelligent operating system guiding our experience of reality. And on Saturday, we'll talk even more about that. We'll talk about some of the spiritual technology that I was guided to activate and engage by following this series of synchronicities and signs and clues that were embedded in the codex of reality. Ultimately, I think we're here at this time on earth to find our way back to that place of remembering ourselves as God and remembering each other as God, and ultimately doing the work to become that new human, to become that enlightened human that can create more harmony in the world. And we can do that through activating powerful spiritual technologies that for thousands of years were lost and have now been recovered. So I'm so excited to talk about my journey of finding these technologies, exploring them, engaging them, and what I now know to be possible. So on Saturday, join me at 11 a.m. Pacific. You can find the link below in the show notes. Sign up if you haven't already. Replays will be available if you can't make it live. And I'm just so excited and grateful for the opportunity to have these conversations about how our reality works and to help you on your journey in your evolution and your transformation and remembering yourself as God. So with that, I'll see you next time in our next podcast episode. I'll be back on video soon after I get through this little wave of transformation that's been happening. And I'm excited to see you in person on video Saturday if you can join live. We'll see you then. Until next time, bye for now.